Welcome back, everybody. We're here in the home studio, and I just want to go through a clip of a recent test drive that I had. And the reason why this test drive is great, it's not because of the footage, but it's because of all the help from you, the viewers here, that helped me out with every single video. Towards the end of the last one, you would have seen the car still breaking up around that wide open throttle mark. And essentially what was happening, and thank you for the viewers for pointing this out, two different things. One, the spark plug gap was a little bit too wide. So as the pressure in the cylinder builds up, it was actually blowing out that spark. So what I've done is I've changed to a plug that's one step colder and also tightened up the gap to, I think, 28 thousandths. The second thing that was going on was an overboost condition, and I think I was just getting a little bit ahead of myself by having the two springs in the wastegate targeting around that 12 to 15 psi mark. That's just too much air for this fuel map to know what to do with, and honestly, probably a little bit on the risky side for this engine anyway. So what I've done is I've pulled that out, went back to a single spring, I guess a 5 psi spring, put it all back together, and you'll see in this test drive video, it just goes nicely right up to that 5 psi mark, holds it, nothing's breaking up, everybody's happy, and from there I think we can introduce just a manual boost controller to dial that up to maybe 7 or 10 psi. Basically just dial it up until the motor isn't happy anymore and then back it off slightly. So you'll see in our test drive here, everything's going well. The exhaust still kind of loud. Unfortunately, I don't have proper audio recording set up on this test drive. It was just a quick one in the afternoon to get out, go ahead and do that first fill up, which was great. Car actually has a working gas gauge, which was pretty neat. So it's got fresh gas in it, it's running great, and that's pretty much it. The only other thing is, as you can see, it was also super sketchy with the steering. So definitely need to do an alignment after adding the tie rod spacers. All right, so now seeing how sketchy the steering was on the road here, I think it's time to do a driveway alignment, and that's to be expected. When I put those tie rod spacers in, it completely disrupts the alignment of the steering. If you think about it, we're essentially taking our tie rods and just moving them out like this, so that's why the car was just all over the place. What I'm going to do here, it's called a driveway alignment, and basically you take two tape measures and you measure the front of the center point of the front of the wheel and the center point of the back of the wheel, and just try and get the measurements between the two to line up as close as you can. And what that should do is hopefully bring you back as close to zero toe as possible. And it's not perfect, but at least it allows you to get safely down the road over to a proper alignment shopping to get that up on the rack. So that's what we're going to do today, and we'll go ahead and get started. And since I already know that the wheels were completely out with the toe in, I haven't bothered to take the initial measurement. I'm just going to crack these open, see if I can make one adjustment, get it kind of close, see where we go from there. And all we have to do to make that adjustment is to break free this tie rod end. Well, we got the nut off, and now comes the fun part of using the tie rod separator. So these basically get wedged into the knuckle here, and the only way to get it out without damaging it is to use one of these. If you just mash on the threads here, you can possibly damage it. Okay, so no big surprise. Things did not go according to plan. You know, just kind of trying to make these old tie rods work. And just looking at them, I mean, these things are banged up. They've probably been on the car since 1990, and you know, it's just not worth fighting it. Just replace the whole assembly, pretty easy, pretty cheap, and you know, maybe keep these somewhere as spares, I guess. But they're pretty banged up. So we will go ahead and pause for now and come back with some replacements. As always, thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.